Hi, my name is Katie Ferguson. I am the park manager here at Tonto Natural Bridge State Park. We are located 10 miles north of Payson up in Pine, Arizona. I've been here about 5.5 years now, and it's such a beautiful place to be. We are known for having the world's largest naturally formed travertine bridge. The bridge stands 183 feet high and 400 feet wide. It is a beautiful geological formation that we allow people to come to the park and have the opportunity to hike through the natural bridge and all through Pine Creek, which is the body of water that formed this beautiful geological formation over 1 billion years. Right now, as it stands, the water that we have running over the bridge, feeding both of our waterfalls and running through the bridge itself, is what allows it to grow 1 inch every year with that calcium carbonate and the dissolved limestone that is in the water. This did not become a state park here until 1990. So before that, it was privately owned. David Gowan was the first to document finding this natural bridge. Upon documenting it, he had family come out from Scotland, the Goodfellows, to come and live here at the park with him. The Goodfellow Lodge was completed in 1927. They allowed visitors to come, get to stay in the lodge overnight and explore this beautiful park. I think that most people come here and their expectations are to get to see the natural bridge, which of course is a must-do while you're here. We have 4 viewpoints up top on a paved walking path that allow people who don't necessarily want to do a strenuous hike down into the canyon to walk to each of these 4 viewpoints and get beautiful views of the bridge from up top at different angles, looking all the way through it. So one of the most common trails that people will hike down while they're here visiting is our Gowan Trail. It is a short trail at 1/4 mile, but it is a pretty steep and strenuous hiking trail. You're losing nearly the whole height of the natural bridge, so nearly 200 feet in elevation in such a short distance. It is very much so doable. That will hike you down to an observation deck to allow you the opportunity to view the natural bridge along with the waterfall without actually needing to leave the deck and hike over the rocks and the difficult terrain down in there. A lot of people do want to come to hike through the bridge. We make it very known to people when they get here that any hiking done off of the observation deck is all undeveloped hiking at that point, which means you're really just in a creek bottom, maneuvering over slippery rocks and boulders, following yellow arrows. If you hike all the way through the natural bridge, you can hike 1/2 mile through Pine Creek, which again is the same type of terrain. You're just scrambling over rocks the whole time, but it is beautiful down in Pine Creek in this canyon, and it will hike you all the way through back up to the first parking lot. One of the other trails we have is our Anime Trail. It's 1/4 mile as well. It's going to hike you down to the creek itself. My favorite trail is the one that we're down now. It's our Waterfall Trail, and it's 105 steps. It's just a quick in and out trail, but in my opinion, it is absolutely beautiful down here. All the viewpoints in our park are all ADA accessible to our visitors. Unfortunately, the hiking trails going down into the canyon are not ADA accessible. They are all steep, rocky, and strenuous for people. Our Goodfellow Lodge is also ADA accessible. The most common thing that you will see here at the park as far as wildlife is concerned, we do have a whole squadron of javelina here on the park. The other animal that is most common here for people to see, and it's very exciting because it's definitely out of the ordinary, are the white-nosed coatimundi. They love to hang out at the orchard trees, and actually down here in Pine Creek next to the waterfall, the white-tailed deer we have here as well. Common birds that you will get to see when you're down here are definitely a lot of different scrub jays, tanagers, cardinals, orioles. And then when you come up to our gift store, we have 4 different feeders for hummingbirds out front. The 3 most common that we have are the Anna's hummingbird, the Rufous hummingbird, and the black-tailed hummingbird as well. As far as the plants we have here, we try to stick to mostly native plants here at the park. We have a lot of pinyon pine, we have a lot of juniper, a lot of sycamores that you're going to find more so down in the creek. Up top in the park at our orchard, we have apple trees, peach trees, pear trees. One of the more exciting things for people to get to enjoy when they come to our park is the amazing amount of blackberries that grow all throughout the park here, which are all along this canyon here behind me, in fact. So they grow all in Pine Creek Canyon and everywhere up top in the park on the east side of the park. And we do allow visitors to pick those when they are ready to eat. In my opinion, the best time to visit the Natural Bridge is definitely early spring when all of our wildflowers are blooming. It is absolutely beautiful down here. Another time is during monsoon time in June, July. Our creek will elevate sometimes up to 6 to 8 feet in height. Now it does obviously change the hiking experience for people, as you are not allowed to hike through Pine Creek since that is the trail itself. But to get to hike down to the deck or even go to the viewpoints and see the water rushing the way that it does is a totally different experience for some people. It is very awesome to see. Another beautiful time here at the park is definitely fall. If you're coming to find fall colors, you will definitely find it here. It's beautiful. So in summertime, when people come here to hike, it is kind of assumed that we are going to be significantly cooler than down in the valley, and that is not always the case. It does definitely get high in the high 90s here, sometimes low hundreds. So we do ask when people come that they are prepared. Our park is absolutely a family-friendly park. We have families come from all over to visit it. It is entirely up to the families as to what type of hiking trails you'd like to get into. Kids hike through here easy peasy. It's really not them at all that we worry about getting through this terrain. As far as dogs are concerned, we love that you bring your dog with you. They are welcome to all the viewpoints up top, everywhere throughout the top of the park. We do not, however, allow you to take them down the hiking trails into the canyon. So if you do bring a pet with you, it's going to limit your hiking ability. There are picnic areas all throughout the park if a family just kind of wants to come do a short hike and then picnic here for the day. We also have ramadas all throughout the entirety of our park as well. We put on lodge tours here, and it allows people the opportunity to view our Goodfellow Lodge, which is a big staple here at the park. So nearby areas to get to stay, if you're wanting to stay overnight while visiting the park, just about 6 miles north of us is a little town called Pine, along with Strawberry. There are plenty of lodging options there, as well as dispersed camping all throughout the whole Tonto National Forest. 10 miles south of us is Payson, another small town that has plenty of options as far as lodging accommodations for you and your family. One big reason that I would recommend people come to this park to visit, it is so different than anything you will ever get to see. Us being down here in Pine Creek Canyon, it is again a beautiful little respite away from the heat and the hustle and bustle that everybody else has to deal with. It is so green down here at this park, and the reason for that is the natural spring that we have on the park that we divert to continuously water things. It gives people a really good opportunity to be somewhere in Arizona in the middle of summer and it's still so green and lush, and people really enjoy that. I know that I definitely do. But thank you so much for listening, you guys, and we hope to have you come visit Tonto Natural Bridge State Park very soon.